Welcome to Subramani. Uh, I had a daughter about 20 years ago, and I've tried to teach her a lot of things, and she has learned a lot on her own. She's on her way to becoming a chartered accountant. She's doing her articles. And I don't know whether I've been a great success in teaching her finance. Yes, I've taught her value buying. I've taken her to the markets. I've made sure that she understands what is price, what is value, right? And that can start pretty early. You can pick up all the toys for your kid and say every toy had a price. The question is, for which toys did you derive value? Some toys kids just love it, and you may have bought it when they were 3 years old and they'll hold on till they're 25. So that's completely deriving value. Now some things you buy, maybe it's more expensive, but it's something which they don't like, which they don't take a fancy to, and that does not get used. So there was price, but there was no value derived, right? So many of these things you can teach, but there are certain things which they have to do it themselves. Let me give you the example, the difference. If my mother thinks of a new dish today, she is 83 plus, she will experiment. She will know what to, she will she will try learning a new trade like knitting. In knitting, she will try to learn something like crochet or things like that. My daughter will also look at it and then go back to her work, because her work is 12-13 hours a day. Lockdown has only increased her work. That's how life is. So my daughter will also look at a recipe and say, oh, this is great, I'm going to make it one day. But when the push comes to shove, it has got to be Swiggy, right? So, and say, can we just buy it, rather than let me experiment making it. She does experiment, but honestly, she doesn't get time. Why am I bringing this up? Because expecting her to learn about stock picking and things that I have done seems to be a pipe dream, even though she is on the path to doing chartered accountancy. I also think that today, with greater norms of where you can invest, what you can invest, and if she makes a career as a chartered accountant, there will be a lot of restrictions as to where she can invest and where she can't invest. So the simplest investment for her would be a couple of maybe index funds, in ideally a Vanguard total stock index fund internationally, and a Vanguard stock bond index fund again internationally. I don't know whether investing in those will be very easy, and I'm sure one day Vanguard will come to India, but as of today they are not there. So an index fund for debt funds and index fund for equity funds, hopefully international, will be available in India at a low price. You never know, somebody like Navi Mutual Fund or somebody could think of that, and that would be ideal. But today it is not there, and she will have to do some managing. So 4-5 mutual funds and a decent stock portfolio is what she will have to handle. But I am sure that hopefully in another 5-7 years she will become more interested in learning, and she will actually learn. Man lives on hope, right? So I'm not trying to take credit for what she has done so far. She has done very well academically, far better than I have ever done. But I have not been a great success in getting her to find enough energy to look after her investments. So I think there are certain things which I would like to tell her, which I think any 20-year-old or any father would want to tell a 20-year-old daughter or son. It doesn't really matter. Some of these things are not very different. Some of the things may be different. So first and foremost important thing in life, when you're seeking friends and when you're seeking a life partner especially, avoid fiscally irresponsible people. Some people who have never created wealth, some people who do not know the process of creating wealth, who have only destroyed. They have lived off their parents. They're 27 years of age or 26 years of age. Never ever bothered them that they're not earning money. They keep pretending that they're doing something very useful for society, and they reach 26, 27, 28 and they don't start earning. They're living off the parents. These are not very fiscally responsible people, right? So avoid such people. These people have destroyed their own wealth. They're very happy to have access to your wealth and destroy it. So it's not just about money, it's also about life. People have to take some responsibility. Just because your parents can afford it, it does not mean you just do not earn beyond a particular age, whatever be your job. You may be a socialist, you may be a communist, doesn't matter. But you need to take responsibility for your life. Start earning. You're not paying rent, you're not paying for food. If your parents are still paying for your clothes and your vacations, to me that is a no-no. So avoid such fiscally irresponsible people. You will have enough money earning because of your degree and the places where you work, and because of your education. The first thing to avoid is avoid PMS, AIF and other expensive money managers. The closest you can go is perhaps a couple of mutual funds, but PMS is avoidable. Think Bernie Madoff when you think of PMS. It is not worth being in a PMS unless you know how the fund manager operates, and by the time you learn how the fund manager operates, it's time that you manage your own money. So PMS is avoidable. Mutual funds, I'll pick 2-3 for you. You don't need to go much beyond that, unless of course there's a change in the fund manager. I think I will leave you enough money that you don't have to take any debt, and if you do take debt, make sure that you repay it as soon as possible. It's not worth leveraging and investing. If you're investing, you don't need leverage. If you're leveraging, you can't invest. So avoid debt, even to buy a house. And if you want to buy a house, buy leverage. Follow the 3-20-30-40 rule. You search for it, you will find it in my blog, you will find it in my vlog also. Right. So even for a house, you don't need to borrow. It can be borrowed, it can be bought without borrowing, and it is possible to do it. So think of doing it. Also remember that a house is not an investment. The house in which we are living currently has not appreciated at all in the last 5 years. That's a long period of time. So it is a usage asset. It's like the shirt I wear, or the coat I wear, or the laptop that I use. It is necessary, you need it, you are using it, but it is not an asset which is going to appreciate. So it's not an asset, it is a usage asset at best. Whatever I leave for you, whatever you do, most important thing in life is whatever you earn, you need to save a bit, and that you need to invest. This is so basic that I don't need to say it again and again, and it is easy for you to understand. For somebody who has not lived a life of prosperity, it is difficult to accept that they have to save out of every rupee that they earn, they need to save a portion. But it is easy for you to understand, and therefore that is something which you should implement. Spend much less than what you are earning, so that you can save the difference. The day you have created enough wealth is the day when your dividend income is greater than all your expenses. If you reach a stage in life when your annual expenses are, let's say, 5 lakhs and your dividend income is greater than 5, let's say 6.5 lakhs, you have arrived in the sense that you are now financially independent, and I'm sure you will achieve this somewhere in your 30s, simply because you don't have to pay anything forward, you don't have to pay anything backwards. So you will definitely be able to achieve that financial independence. So that's and that's very obvious that the greater the amount that you save, you will be able to invest, and therefore this will be faster. But please remember, in your 20s, you need to invest in relationships, you need to invest in travel, you need to invest in meeting people, you need to invest in experiences much more than you need to invest in the phones that you buy and the car that you buy. Though they don't matter. What matters is experiences. Thus, just seeing the Himalayas is going to take a lifetime. So you can start on the western side or on the eastern side. The eastern side seems to be easier, but whatever. All those experiences of seeing India and doing the more difficult tasks, like doing the Everest, or at least starting with the Everest base camp and then maybe scaling the Everest, whatever. Those are things which have a stricter deadlines, right? So 40 may be the cutoff age for doing the Everest. and 65 may be the cutoff for doing the Everest base camp. So understand those experiences which have a closer deadline are more important. You can go to Singapore at the age of 75, sit in a wheelchair and see. You can still go to Tadoba at the age of 70, sit in the jeep and look at the animals. The only question is, do you have good eyesight, or you can get a nice pair of binocs. That's not really a problem. The question is, invest in experiences, invest in all those things, of course invest your money, but this experience investing is also very important. Putting money, if you don't want to invest, then putting money in index funds with low cost makes more sense, because the ability to pick up good funds may not be there with you, in the sense if you decide not to, and also a lot of insider trading rules etc. might bother you, so continuing your existing portfolio may be difficult. So all the more reason for you to seek advantage in putting money in a broad index fund which is low cost. Once you do that, largely life is taken care of, because there is a fund manager looking after it, and a lot of your money is working because the costs are not very high. Also realize that you have an equity portfolio which you are going to manage at some stage, and there will be a lot of times when the market value will drop and you will feel scared. There will be people around you shouting sell, sell, sell. That might be the best time to be buying. And at a time market would be in a frenzy, like now there are certain shares which have gone up 400% or at least 350% in the last 7-8 months. It's a great time to be taking money off the table. Understand one thing, if you are in an index fund, you don't need to do any profit booking, nothing of that sort. But if you are in individually managed scripts, you need to understand when to buy, when to sell, when to ride a commodity, when to sell a commodity. Those things you should know. So if you can create enough portfolio which allows you a decent dividend income to live and growth opportunities, that's great. Also understand, at this stage somebody will come to you and say, I'm doing a startup, do you want to join, do you want to invest your money? Be very careful. Understand that evaluation skills are something which you will take time to develop. Even as a chartered accountant doing audits, you will take some more time to understand promoters etc. Don't be in a hurry unless you are joining them full time, then it's a different thing, right? So this is generally broadly what I want to tell boys and girls, and for any 20-year-old this is starting advice. Thank you.